Welcome to my blog stampwithelaine.com. When I last checked, the biggest birthday ever bundle appeared to be available on the retirement list, but as you know, the stock levels and availability changes every day, so by the time this video is published I can't guarantee that it will still be available. But if you do have it, then here are a few ideas for you to create with the biggest birthday ever set. I've combined it with Sweet Sentiments, which is also retiring, but you can use any word set you have in your stash. I do like the Sweet Sentiments because you can mix and match the sentiments for the front of the card and one for the inside too, but you can use either. I'm going to show you some samples on how you can use this stamp set. This one uses the Party Animal DSP and just some simple stamping for a masculine look. These stamps are actually intended for use with the cake layers in there. I chose to use them as candles for this masculine card. I stamped then cut it out with the lots of labels framelit dies. These are carrying over into the new catalogue, and I've used the sentiments from here, Best Guy Ever, and I just cut them up and glued them on the card like that, and then just used a variety of wording to make the inside of the card. Inks and cardstock were chosen to coordinate with the DSP. The card base is Pacific Point and the inks are Pacific Point, Emerald, Envy and Tangerine Tango. Next up is a girly card. This has been Blushing Bride and Rose Red, and I used the Playful Backgrounds photopolymer stamp set to create this background here, and this is staying but obviously the birthday one isn't. And these are metallic enamel shapes in the gold and silver, and again I use the lettering and just only use that portion of it, and inside it says enjoy life and have fun. The images on the front of the box has been shrunk so that they can all fit in, but the stamps are actually a lot bigger. So I use this stamp, which you can use as a pennant, but it's a bit big to use as a pennant. I suppose you can cut it off halfway. I used it as a cone that's been stamped in crumb cake, and then this image here I've stamped to use as the ice cream on top. This is actually the flame for the candle, but I've used it as though the ice cream was melting. And I seem to have lost a rhinestone. That's another card. If you chop off part of the cone, then you can use that as the topping for a cupcake. You can also use it for clouds. So I've just done the lazy thing, and instead of stamping, I've actually used the die cut to cut out the clouds with this from Pacific Point cardstock, and then I used the White Craft ink pad and inked the edges, and some silver metallic thread to put behind the card, and I use the dies also in the set just to embellish the card with. The Easter's already gone, but I did use this sentiment for Easter, but there's some lovely fonts and things like Everyone Needs a Friend Like You, so I've done that for this card, and again die cut the cake. It's a cake slice, so these bits will just fall out, so I cut a square to slide underneath it rather than stamp the cake slices. It's a bit fiddly, so this was just a quicker solution. Then I used the lace doily embossing folder to add a bit of texture here. That's retiring, unfortunately. and then these metallic doilies as well, so you can get gold and silver in a pack in 2 sizes. And then because of the sentiment, I thought it would be quite nice just to put a few hearts on, and it's a thank you card for a friend who's done you a good deed or something. And lastly, this is a trifold card. So I've used the candles, the icing, chocolate chip one, and the back of that. There's the platter, and I use the sprinkles punch to make confetti type things on here. I'm going to show you how to cut the card. It's not as complicated as it looks, but I won't show you the assembly because I think that will make the video far too long. I've already pre-cut this, but this is just a standard A4 sheet in Europe. This measures 11 3/4 by 8 1/4. You need to cut the cardstock at 11 1/4 inches by 8 1/4 inches. Then in centimetres it's 28.6 by 21 centimetres. Short side on top, you need to make a mark with the grey blade on your trimmer, just a tiny mark. Then rotate the cardstock 180 degrees clockwise and mark the opposite end at also 3 inches. Then you need to take that point and align it into the cutting groove of your trimmer. And make a diagonal cut, and there you have your 2 pieces. And that's the bit you cut away and you don't want. To butt up the straight edge to the top of your scoreboard with the diagonal facing you on the bottom, and you want to score at 3 3/4 and 7 1/2. So you can make 2 cards out of this, so you do the same for this. 3 3/4 and 7 1/2. With the short edge on your right, you mountain fold and then valley fold the other one. So there's your trifold card. So I'll repeat that again. Short side on the right, mountain fold and then valley fold. To cut the matte layers with DSP, you have to be mindful which direction your pattern is going, and you need, this is okay because the numbers are all in all directions, so it doesn't matter which way up it is. But if you use a generic pattern where it doesn't matter, then you're less likely to make mistakes. So this DSP you need to cut at 10 1/2. I wonder if that's long enough. No. So I need to cut it this way. So 10 1/2 by 7 3/4. With the short side on top, you measure 2 3/4 with the light grey blade. Rotate it 180 degrees and measure at 2 3/4 again. Then you join up that mark with that mark along the cutting groove, and you cut between those 2 points. With a straight edge on top and the diagonal cut at the bottom, cut at 3 1/2 inches. Which is 8.9 centimetres, and with the remaining 2/3 you cut the same at 3 1/2 inches, which is 8.9 centimetres. So the first piece will go on the front, the second piece goes in there, so you want the other side. this piece will go in here. So if you want to cut another piece for in there, then you need to cut it out of the crushed curry or coordinating colour with the same measurements as the DSP, and then use that panel to put in here. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the various cards I've made using this stamp set. I don't think I can get it all in here. If you like it, do give me a thumbs up, subscribe or share it on Facebook, and my grateful thanks if you do. I hope you can still get hold of this stamp set or this bundle before it retires, and there's lots of ideas for you to be starting with. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with more inspiration. You can find me on Facebook, Pinterest or Instagram.